Over the past 8 years, nearly 100 million rural people in China have seen their lives improve to such an extent that absolute poverty has been eliminated nationwide. To find out how this was possible, in this episode of Xinhua Special, we head to Guizhou, a province once home to the largest population of people living under the poverty line in the whole of China. Hello and welcome to Chitua in Guizhou. In little more than 2 years, a whole township, that's around 6,000 people, left their ancestral homes deep in the mountains and moved here to this community, which was built under China's relocation project. Over the past 5 years, the project has offered one route out of poverty for around 10 million people who once lived in areas deemed inhospitable for human habitation. Nationally, about a fifth of those people were in Guizhou. They now live in relocation villages like this one. One family to benefit here in Guizhou is the Yangs.
我家是18年搬上来的，我家5个人嘛，然后分了100个平方。我们住进来的时候呢，都是装修好的嘛，而且这房子是免费的。我觉得这里比老三堡好很多了呀。
Both Yan Yan and Yan Deshu work in the factory where this bike was made, and they're not alone. More than half of the employees that work here actually live in relocated villages. Yang Deshu has worked at this factory since it opened in 2019, under an employment initiative run by the local government for residents of the relocation village.
我之前是在浙江里面打工，小娃娃还小嘛，带回家来，回家那边又可以照顾老年人啊，照顾小娃娃，还政府还帮我们免费了3年的水电费。现在幼儿园、小学、初中、高中都给我们修好了，他们去读书的时候走7、8分钟都到了，不像以前我们在老三堡的时候呢，去读书要走1个多小时，但是那个路又是泥巴路又滑，现在挺方便的。
For families like the Yangs, the poverty alleviation campaign has transformed the countryside from a rural backwater with few opportunities to somewhere brimming with economic promise, which helped persuade people that their hometowns could offer just as much opportunity as the big cities. It seems to be about bringing jobs to the people rather than bringing people to the jobs. But what about the traditions of the ethnic minorities? Can they coexist with the developmental changes? Xie Ying identifies as ethnically Miao. She currently works at this small embroidery workshop near the town square.
我是今年开始在这里工作的，因为疫情原因就没出去，挺喜欢这份工作的，因为从小就会做这个嘛，有一份稳定的收入，比较开心的。 咱们绣坊的顾客主要是我们周边的少数民族，重要的节日都会穿。大部分游客也比较喜欢我们做的东西的，然后也会带走。
Those dresses look great in the shop, but the best way to see them is in action. Guizhou, while once cash poor, has always been culture rich. This relocation town is in fact named after the Chitua dance, which is usually performed at traditional Yi weddings. And today, this ancestral art creates jobs for relocated residents in their new community. For the Yi, fire can symbolise an ending, but also a beginning, which seems apt, as I will lead Chitua on the road to the next stage of this story. One huge part of poverty alleviation has been building better infrastructure to get people and products to where they need to go quicker and safer. I mean, roads like this look fabulous on camera, but imagine what it would be like living at the top and needing to travel up and down every day. Since 2012, China has built or upgraded over 2 million kilometres of rural roads, including 1.1 million kilometres in underdeveloped areas. Now almost all rural towns and villages are connected by cement roads and have public bus services. This achievement is especially impressive in mountainous Guizhou, where today every community in the province with more than 30 households has a paved road and all roads connect to the province's highway network.
That's where mega projects like this, the world's highest bridge, come in. Part of an extensive highway that stretches from China's east coast to the southwest of the country. It's helped make previously remote areas more viable for development projects.
During the past 5 years, nearly 2,500 kilometres of expressway, over 800 kilometres of high-speed railway and 21,000 kilometres of public roads have been built across Guizhou's rugged terrain. But development is not just about concrete and metal. Sometimes it's about returning spaces back to their former natural state. The natural environment, like soil and water sources, are invaluable assets for future generations who either live on or off the land, and protecting it was integral to the poverty alleviation campaign. The transformation of Haichue in Guizhou is just one example of how the greener side of development has helped people improve their lives. The village of Haichue sits deep in the Karst Mountains. The local environment was scarred by severe soil erosion, with less than 5% forest coverage. In the 80s, with an annual per capita net income of just 33 yuan, or around $5, each and every one of the 730 residents of Haichue struggled to put food on the table and clothes on their backs. Later that decade, a reforestation project began, and in just 3 years, trees covered 800 hectares of the formerly barren land, helping to preserve water and soil and creating new income streams for the community.
我们现在就是满山的万亩林变成了水青山嘛。我们有了林，现在我们有了就是爱花苹果，在里面种中药材，还有我们这个生物菌大棚。
Today, more than 77% of the village is covered in forest, and no one in the community lives under the poverty line. The final 9 counties in China removed from the nationwide poverty list at the end of 2020 were in Guizhou. Yet, while this indicates the end of absolute poverty nationwide, the campaign is far from over. For rural communities across the country, the next task is making sure lives continue to improve, and this necessitates efforts to modernise agriculture, protect the environment and improve incomes, all set to be achieved by 2050. So rather than the elimination of poverty signalling an ending, new journeys are just beginning as villages across the country head toward even better